For the short delay, you know, technology, you work with it, you just got to roll with it every once in a while. So, and welcome to those of you who are online. This is a stream session, so hello out there, wherever you happen to be. Where this is Toss the Cookie Cutters, Grappling with Quality, Consistency, Scalability, and Academic Freedom, which is us. I'm Debbie, this is Heather. We are the Alaska System Leads for Quality Matters. We both work for UAA, full-time, part-time. Heather is the Assistant Director for Academic Innovations and E-Learning, as well as the Director for a Title III grant. So she's the Project Director for that. I also work for Kodiak College as an instructional designer and adjunct faculty. Never a dull moment. So we come from Alaska, what seems exotic, but it's really not. But it is big and it is spread out, and that's one of the issues that we face. And so Anchorage is the biggest city, but it's not that big. It's less than 300,000 people. Alaska takes up 1/5 of the entire contiguous 48 states, but it's got less than 1 million people, kids, parents, everybody, elderly. We actually only have about 740,000 people. So we have a huge area that we're stretched out, and that's one of the issues that we face. The university system is a public university system. We have 3 main academic hubs and 16 campuses and several other little extended sites with it. The Juneau section is the pink over there, that's UAS. We have Fairbanks, which is UAF, and then we have UAA, which is University of Alaska Anchorage, which is where we're from, and that's the green section. Okay, so this is what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about our online master courses that are being developed as part of a Title III grant. So we want to share some of our success stories with you and some of the pitfalls with you and get your feedback too, because as part of Title III, sharing is part of it, but you always want to get input from others. So if you have suggestions for us, we would love to hear about it. Oops, missed one. So it is called Robust Online Learning. When you get the slide decks, and these are posted on the conference site already, they're all live links in here, so you can go out and check out the websites if you'd like to. So they're all hyperlinked for you. Okay. So one of the problems we came up with is low retention rates for minority students. And we have a bunch of different kinds of minorities and a lot of diversity in the school systems and within the state, because we have a lot of people that come up for fishing and for other industries. And one of the things that we did with our initial write-up, had a few more issues.
They're seeing this screen with your next slides.
You're fixing it? All right.
So we're gonna just make it mirror.
Go for it.
Okay.
See, tech. How many of you actually teach online and this shows up a lot of times? Students will feedback and say, oh, we see this. And you're going, where? What?
You're revealing too much information.
Yes, we don't want to reveal the secrets ahead of time. That's okay. What do you need?
Trying to get you to your control panels. Monitor setup.
Just go right here.
Thank you.
It is a touch screen.
Display.
Display notifications. Display.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn mirroring on.
I can switch the PowerPoint.
Okay. Yeah. So
do it as a full presentation and not in the presenter mode.
Yeah. Don't use presentation mode or presenter mode.
Don't do presenter.
Right. Just so it mirrors, because you're sharing your screen, you're sharing this screen, and we're seeing your slides.
Where did it go?
You saw me at that.
Yeah. Windows 10.
Can I move this so we don't have any sound issues?
Get rid of this. Ta-da. Recovery. We're just going to close that. Okay.
Go ahead and go into show.
Nope.
Pop out,
Display
just escape.
settings.
Yeah, there you go. Duplicate. We're all good. Thank you.
Ta-da. All right, back in action. So you get to see some of the statistics here. One of the interesting things when we wrote this Title III grant, when she wrote this Title III grant, was that in 2015, when they pulled some of the stats, that students that did not have any online courses whatsoever, they went to face-to-face courses only, they had about 58% retention. But those students that had anywhere from 1 to 24% actually did better. So the online learning actually helped in their retention. So I know we've got the other slides there on the side, but so we had two models of developing courses. Well, one that was current one and one we proposed under the grant. So we're just going to give you a little bit of background here, very short. In the current model that we had before we started this program, it was individually developed courses. How many of you have individually developed courses? Faculty gets the, you know, here's your course outcomes, go for it, kind of thing, all right? There's a problem with that everybody gets to do their own thing, which is good, except that there was no support for it. The cost of developing a 3-credit course was about $5,500. And so if you had 5 people developing the same English course, you're paying just under $30,000 for that, which is a problem. And there's no quality control. So one person may have a really fabulous course and the students do very well, and then the others, of course, you know what happened. So we proposed a team method that was a little different than most teams. And we're going to walk you through a game to help you discover some of the aspects of that. So hopefully this will all work. We're going to play Jeopardy. So we'd like you to take out your tablets, take out your smartphones, online if you're on the computer, or do your smartphone next to your computer, whatever way works. And we'd like you to go to this address. It's a Google address, shortened address. So https://goo.gl/3TOV, B as in boy, 7. Okay, it'll come back up again in a second here, but I'll give you a chance to take a look at that. You're going to get a game screen similar to what we're going to be playing. Okay, so you should probably see like what's on the right-hand side there. You're going to get a list of options for all the different game cards that we have. And then we'll be showing you what's in the middle here. We're going to show you that hopefully live, if this works, the results of your scoring. So again, that was the, oh, you can't even see it on here. So again, Google, goo.gl, 3TOV, B as in boy, 7. Okay, so we're going to get out of this. And we're going to go to, was that too fast?
Yes.
Go back. I can go back.
Somebody found it. Gonna hear all sorts of cool stuff. Again and again.
There's a 7 hiding under those, and it's not
You can go to
presenting.
the other side.
Interesting. You see it? Yep. That's our boss on there, by the way.
Not showing.
And it's not showing. Okay, suggestions from the people who use Zoom? My screen, which is different than what you're seeing. I asked it to share the desktop so that when these would come up, we would see these.
Which one are you here? Are you one of those?
She's Debbie.
Debbie.
Okay.
And he hid me. Do we have to do new share? Nope.
I don't think so.
We did practice this. We did practice.
How
Why
about,
don't you go ahead and start talking about the grants so we don't lose too much more time?
I was thinking about it a moment ago, but I keep working. We're gonna be just about there.
what tab are we on this? That one
We
right
need
there?
to be
I was just
on.
wondering if I can move it over to the other window. Is that what
Nope.
you need to see? No.
Nope, that's not it.
Is that right there?
Yes.
Where on earth is that? Where did you just move it?
Well,
It's way over here and I have to be
it's-
able to control it.
Can you not just
No.
watch this? No.
No, I have to be able to control that.
Okay.
And you can't see
You
that?
can't watch the screen and control it.
Okay, then.
Well, that's what we were told we could do.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take this over here and then click play.
So
Right?
in essence,
But we have to be able to choose each
Yeah.
one of the buttons that are on that screen.
Go ahead and hit the play button. It's fine.
And then you can.
No, we'll have to.
No, we have to be able to see that screen.
You-
No,
you-
this is a different
oh,
screen.
okay.
This is different.
Debbie, I'll just have to look up there. It'll be fine. We've lost enough time.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm going to grab the mic and pray. Right here at my podium, so hopefully it'll go quickly. All right, so this is a riff on Jeopardy. This is not true Jeopardy, so I'm not handing out millions of dollars in prizes. I apologize for that in advance. Hopefully you'll forgive me. What we're trying to do here really is to have a conversation, and these are questions that range from the very concrete over on the first side of the board to the more abstract and not necessarily right or wrong answers. Sorry, over on the left side of the board, over on the right side of the board. This is actually a technique that we're using with some of the grants work that we're doing right now, except without the intermediary of the presentation mode that we're using right here. So what I'm hoping to do with you, my audience who have stayed with us, thank you, I appreciate it, all of you, those of you here and those of you from afar. And I'm going to ask you, including those of you who are online, to go ahead and put up hands, and so we'll need some help from the back to pick questions for me. And what I'll do is we'll try to figure out what we're doing with this grant and what these online master course type things really are, as well as some of the issues that we've grappled with. So are we ready? You guys are looking wonderfully excited for this time of the day. Thank you very much. All right, so who wants to go first? Back there in the corner, you shot your hand up, black hair. Or at least from here it looks black.
Online master class.
I can do that. You missed.
I got there.
Oh, maybe my eyes are wrong.
No.
All right, so if you have your game board up, you can go to what she just said, which was online master courses for 200. And what it will do is it will bring up our polling options and you can select the answer that you think is most appropriate. Go ahead and open it, Debbie. I don't think this is going to work though with the driving. No, I mean with the driving with the mic. All right, so go ahead and put your answers in, and whichever one has the highest number of answers, we'll get our selection and we'll submit it and we'll see how it goes. Bear in mind that these are not answers that are going to be right for everybody. These are going to be answers based on what we're doing at my institution. So there's lots of room to argue. I'm going to give you just another moment. Looks like it's a second response. You should be able to see these live here, and if you have your screen open, I believe they're also showing where you submitted your responses. Second,
Gotta drive backwards, which is really bizarre.
Well, Debbie, I can do this, really.
Okay. All right.
I can walk and talk. Unless you want to just move the machine.
I'm just gonna do that. I can do that. I can move my machine out of the way.
All right.
It's backwards. That's what.
So the way that we have been doing these online master courses We've been trying really hard to move away from the one faculty member, one course model. Part of that has to do with it not being scalable. For example, when you have a faculty member who develops an online course, no matter how good it is, it's not available if the faculty member is not available to teach it. So you might have, 500 students waiting for English 111 to open up a new section, but if you don't have any faculty members with the developed course available, you're toast. So we were grappling with these questions of how to meet our market needs, as well as respecting the way our institution has worked for so long, which is one faculty member, one course. It's really been a struggle. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to develop teams that included stakeholders. And that includes faculty member stakeholders, at least 3, definitely at least 1 from one of the community campuses, so it wasn't just a main campus foisting everything off on the community campus kind of thing. And also having an entire development team behind it, which makes life a lot easier when you're trying to produce really high quality products. All right, one last sidetrack before I take a person online to select our next option. This is not designed to be a me-only sort of presentation. So if you have questions, comments, thoughts, arguments, complaints, hold the complaints. But arguments are good. Please shoot your hand up while I'm talking, and I'm more than willing to turn this into a conversation. The odds of us getting all the way through the game are a little bit less that way, but the conversations really are what this is about. All right, so our next person, we need somebody from online. Select a square, please.
Go to defining online 400. Online
Finding online masterclass. What up? Get up there.
Aren't the sound effects awesome? All right, so here's a question, and this is a question that I face every single day. Is an online master course a threat to academic freedom? Remember, I said these aren't all simple questions. Go ahead and open the poll. Is it a threat to academic freedom? Cool. Give it just another moment. That's remarkable. I was not expecting that particular response. All right, go ahead and close it and select the second one. That's not really a question with a right answer. But among the things that we have grappled with is faculty members who are in an environment of declining funds, increasing responsibilities, and feeling insecure, shall we say. This idea of an online master course seems to be a real threat to many people. And that has to do both with the intellectual property and the academic freedom side of things. Are you going to give us cookie cutter courses and force us to teach in a specific way? Or are you just going to try to get rid of us entirely and have us develop this with our expertise and then have it taught by adjuncts? I think if I had to answer that just for me, I would have said that I'm not sure. Because the model, the way we have developed it, actually leaves the decisions about how the course is used and to what degree it is a master course in the hands of the departments. They design the course with our designers. They are the ones who decide how much can be changed and how much cannot be changed by anybody who uses that shell. And the intellectual property, again, belongs to the program or the department and not to us. That has helped quite a lot. One of the concerns that I really can't necessarily address easily is the idea that this can be weaponized by an institution if they so choose. And the fact of the matter is that I can't guarantee that it wouldn't be. What I can guarantee is that I wouldn't do that and my team wouldn't do that. And that's not the intent of the administration that we're working with. So even if you have good intentions, bear in mind that there are always going to be risks and possible problems down the line. And so we need to be mindful as we continue with this model that we're really respectful of not just academic freedom, but for the reason that faculty members are there, which is to share their expertise in the ways that they're best in order to help the students meet their learning goals. All right, somebody from in here, question?
Yeah, just a quick follow that this is going to be driven in more strongly by state legislatures and the lack of funding for community colleges in particular. That picture does not look good at all. The next half a dozen years nationwide. In some areas, like the Midwest, for instance, or Southeast.
So
Dismal. So there's going to be some incentives to, as you say, weaponize it.
So for those of you who are online, I don't know how well you can hear the mic, can they? Okay. The comment was that this really is a model that we're looking at in, say, about the next 5 or 6 years, you said, because of declining funds and increasing pressures for quality, consistency, and cost effectiveness in institutions over the next several years. Definitely. I mean, that was really part of what brought it to us. All right, somebody in here who wants, go ahead. Oh, you're going to make me talk about how hard it is. So factors affecting the time to implementation include, go ahead and put your responses in. Why was that?
I don't know.
There.
It always does that sound effect.
The answer is a very definite C on that one. So we'll go ahead and put that in. I would say from where I sit, that's absolutely true. Definitely there are factors that include that are administrative as well as change factors. It just so happens that for the first time in forever, online learning really has the support of our administration. And so I'm able to work very closely with deans, with directors, and with the provost in order to build these models to help bring faculty in, to make sure we have appropriate incentives and time releases, which has made things a lot easier for us. In the past, when we haven't necessarily had that kind of cooperation, efforts like this were met in a much more grudging fashion. Now, the politics of it in terms of hurt feelings and fear and turf protection and all that are thick. We're in an institution, again, that's been seeing declining funds for many years. You know, that's part of what has caused us to write the grant that we're doing, to try to look for ways to be more cost effective and more effective overall, really. But no matter how much you communicate, you can't communicate enough. No matter how much you reassure, people will not necessarily be reassured. And so I spend an awful lot of time talking to different people, looking for ways to seek change that fall within what people understand and can appreciate. It's very, very, very challenging to navigate that, because we don't just navigate it with, you know, the provost. We navigate it with every faculty member that we work with every department, and sometimes with every college. We really do want to make sure that we're working with people who are invested in at least giving it a fair shot at having a model that's just wildly different than anything we've ever done at UAA before. So huge challenge there in terms of change. All right, somebody online? Somebody online to give us a square. Where do you want to go next? I used to be a faculty member, and I used to be part of our instructional design groups. And Solutions for Thousands. And now I find, in fact, that I'm a politician. So it's best if you can get which. Do you want to mandate, or do you want to persuade? Do you want to mandate, or do you want to persuade? If you mandate, that means that you can make a clean sweep. It means that I can work with all of our general education courses in an order that makes sense. It means that I can determine that there's a reasonable template for all of those courses. Persuasion is messy. Which do we think is best? All right, let's put that one in, Debbie. We actually have very definitely worked with persuasion. Persuasion is messy. Persuasion is unsure. But I think one of my friends has a quote, and it says something along the lines of, in a battle with institutional culture, if you take it on, institutional culture is always going to win. And I think that's very true from where I sit. I'm trying to change people's minds from a model that we've had for 15 years that has virtually no governance to something that requires collaboration, doesn't have specific owners, has much less direct intellectual property ownership. So it's scary. It's really, really scary. And the only way that we're going to develop institutional change, which is really my ultimate goal, even if we don't ever end up with this specific model, I have to use the persuasion model. I'm really looking at different models, but most of all, I'm looking at institutional culture. We need to change. It's really, really hard. All right, next one. Somebody in here? Go ahead.
Why an online master course required?
I knew I'd need a cheering section. Every question I get applause. How cool is that? All right, we definitely have I told you that they were really super easy in the first half of this, right? All right, consistency is definitely a key feature. And remember, as our provost says, we work now in an environment where you let 1,000 flowers bloom. That's one of his favorite things to say whenever we're in meetings. And whenever you are working in a field like that, you know that you have essentially wildflowers and you have no idea what that field is going to look like from one semester to the next. Absolutely no idea at all. And so from where the students sit, there's a real problem with consistency, and that's true across all of the general education courses. It's true across all of our online courses. I'm not trying to change all of our courses right now. I'm just trying to work with the top enrolling general education requirements that nearly all of our students will see at some point or another. So if they have elements of consistency across those, it will help them get through their first few years of classes without the same kind of struggle that they face now, where all those flowers are blooming and they're all beautiful, but they all have to be known one at a time. All right, somebody from online next.
Exclusion 600.
Ha! Is it possible in a situation like this one, which actually is quite high stakes, to fail and to still succeed? You know, that seems like an odd question for us to have universal agreement on. Give it just another moment. I kind of gave myself away with this one. Where I sit, the models that we come up with, and we actually have more than one model that we're working with right now, are important, but they're not the goal. And in a case like this one, where people are willing to try new things and to fail, and to learn and to try something else new, it's a win all the way around. Again, that's a shift in institutional culture for us, from just doing your own thing to trying something together and learning when it doesn't work. And actually, Title III grants are that way. It's one of the reasons they're written the way they're written, is so that you can try things and the institution doesn't have to adopt them. All right, somebody in here. We have somebody in the back. That would be you, curly hair. You guys are really interested in the political side of this. Is it an easy thing to include faculty members who are adjunct, who are terms, or who are not on the main campus? This is what I'm talking about. The answer to that, of course, is going to depend quite a lot on where you are. From where I said it's critical, again, I'm not looking just to change the main campus. I'm actually looking at changing our entire institution with, I think, about 650 full-time faculty and maybe 1,200 total. And about 20,000 students, I think. So we're looking to change the entire system. Go ahead and submit it, Debbie. For us, it's been a real challenge. Again, our service area for the University of Alaska Anchorage alone is the size of the state of Georgia. Our institution has a service area the size of the state of Georgia. And in that, we have islands like Kodiak, we have peninsulas, we have fjords, we have high mountain ranges, we have people who are not on the road system and have no desire to be. And so I totally lost my train of thought. I love doing that in a presentation. From where we sit, getting the adjuncts involved, getting the terms involved can be really challenging because to some degree, all of our main and community campuses have to be able to be autonomous just because they're so far apart. When I go visit Kodiak, I fly. When I go to Prince William Sound, I fly. We can only drive to a couple of our campuses, and when you do, it's usually several hours away. And so in that case, when you have that much autonomy, even though folks belong to the same department, the folks at the mothership at the main campus tend to be the ones who are driving it. And it's really, really easy for them to go to this mentality of, we can control the quality of our courses this way and bring the community campuses to heel. Okay, not everybody is that way, but enough folks are that we really have had to work hard to convince some of the folks to include people who are not full-time tenure track main campus. So far, knock on wood, we have succeeded in all the ones that we're working on and making sure that we have a distribution of faculty from different roles and from different locations. Let's hope it stays that way. Actually, it will stay that way because I probably wouldn't let it go forward. All right, somebody online this time, I think, right?
You got Y online from 1,000. Why don't I know?
Define? Oh, why?
So I noticed all the 1,000s are going. Does this mean that you folks just want me to answer the hard questions?
Mm-hmm. How you doing?
So again, we're focused on general education courses. One issue that frequently comes up. Aha. Go ahead and put it in. I think that they're going to be in agreement on that. For us, it tends to be more the number of sections than when things are, but a lot of times both of those are the case because again, in the case of a lot of our general education requirements, they tend to be on campus, they tend to be in person, they tend to be during the workday. Even though UAA is an urban open access university with more people working than not. But we still kind of have that preponderance and people are always looking for that flexibility of the hybrid or asynchronous or mixed mode synchronous courses.
I think we have time for one more.
All right, one more, and whoever you are, you need to kind of stand up and jump up and down here in the room and look really excited about whichever one you're picking. Do I have any takers? All right, you can stay seated. All right, we have somebody in the back, 2 arms, I'll call that a win. What's that? Oh, that's
10
my time.
minutes.
I'm crushed. I have my 10-minute time warning. I think I have a taker. Who's excited? All right, we're going to finish off the thousands. I've talked about this a little bit, so I'm not sure that this one's going to be surprising. One of the best things that we have going for us as a grant and as a team is the fact that we are providing the faculty members with more support and more training than they have ever received in the one faculty member, one course model. So when they are working with us, they are working with an entire development team that includes instructional designers, librarians, media developers, a professional development program laid out specifically for the faculty members, not only who are working with us to build the courses, but who also will be teaching the sections to make sure that we have a baseline level of knowledge.
And quality matters. And working with quality matters.
Well, that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
No, with the
So
with the
back
program
when
that
we
we have, all of our courses are being developed according to the Quality Matters standards. It's actually just built into what we do. It's very much what we breathe. But also part of the grant requirements are that after the courses have been piloted a few times and they're considered mature, we will be running one section of that course done by one of the developers through the Quality Matters process. Now note that since these are courses that are not all identical in nature, they don't actually meet the Quality Matters definition of what a master course is. And I'm okay with that. And our institution actually is quite a lot happier with that. So from a Quality Matters perspective, these are not necessarily master courses because they are not all identical, with just very limited, tweaks to things like the instructor information and whatnot. These are designed to be, in essence, a template for the faculty members to use, and they decide what can be changed and what not, and they are the ones who teach the way they need to teach the best, according to the content and according to what makes them a good faculty member. So I'm going to kind of wrap up here, just kind of a few quick last points, and then I'll hand this back over to Debbie. But in essence, what it came down to was this: we weren't cost effective. We weren't effective in terms of the way we were keeping students and the way we were instructing students. It was clear that our 1,000 flowers might be blooming, but they weren't blooming in any kind of a harmonious fashion, and we needed to find different ways to do things. We've tried to find ways that are more cost effective, that respect the spirit of what higher education is really supposed to be, which is bringing in the expertise of folks who've studied hard and worked hard in a given area, and are designed to sort of help transform the lives of students as they learn, as they grow, and as they become something different. And we've tried to do all of that while struggling within the framework of university politics and a time of reduced fundings. I would say genuine fear because of the nature of the changes that we've had as an institution. And because we have a number of things going for us that include the support of the administration and actually an increased openness to change because of the level of insecurity that we have as an institution. That is, things aren't working the way they were, so people are willing to try new things. We're actually succeeding in moving the needle, in changing the way courses are designed, developed, and delivered. This semester, for example, our freshman comp class, it's English 111 at our institution, is being delivered with 5 online sections, 20 face-to-face sections using the same shell to 750 students. That's change. So, Debbie?
The slides.
You go right ahead.
So she stole my thunder with that one, but there's just a few stats for you for how we're going so far. We started out with just 2 courses, 3 sections of that. We added a few more and repeat the others so that they become more mature, added some more in the fall. These are just the online courses. And then again, that English, that basic freshman writing course that has 5 online sections, has 20 face-to-face sections, all using the same basic framework. So it'll be really interesting. And of course, we're testing for how well they do. Thank you. So the current impact, we have 9 master courses developed so far, more than 1,200 students just online. That doesn't count the face-to-face or how it bleeds over. There are 9 more courses that are in different phases of development right now that'll start being rolled out. 26 was the total number, but we're probably going to exceed that by the time we finish the grant. We are just ending year 2. I'm technically not on the grant, but because the grant involves Quality Matters, I bleed over and help a little bit with this. So here's some closing thoughts for you. Something just to think about. How does this affect you? How does this affect your institution? Or does it? What is a master course in your institution's mind? And does it even consider master courses at this point? Is it a cookie cutter? Is it a framework that allows for faculty to make a few decisions?
More than a few.
Yeah, every semester. Okay. So we'd like to hear if you have answers to these. So please contact us. It should be coming up any second. We're not going anywhere. Why are we not going anywhere? Wonderful.
You're not in presentation mode right now, I don't think.
Did it go out of presentation mode again?
Looks like you're just on the
Okay. I just love technology.
The slide she's trying to bring up for you is our contact information.
That's the contact information. Also, a reminder to please go to the, this is just weird, the website or the event mobile and do the evaluation for today. And I don't know why it's not showing. So it was showing just fine, and it's not, and it's in presentation mode. So who knows?
And I'd like to thank you all too, face-to-face and online, for participating using the polling tool and the gaming sort of framework that we developed. I was trying to figure out a way for us to work with everybody and have it be at least reasonably engaging for folks here and folks from afar. And it seems to, while it still has been late in the day, we had plenty of people participating in the polls. And I thank you for letting us know that that can actually work. We weren't sure.
Do not know what's going on.
It's all right, worked out. Yeah?
Thank you. Yes. Oh, no. Just go ahead. Oh, great.